The name Ian Burke is synonymous to the Atlanta music scene from the 90s until now. Artists such as Arrested Development, Outkast, Criss Cross, Escape, and TLC, to name a few, have worked with Ian in some capacity. Known as the Dreamweaver, Ian has the knack for finding and developing artists for music and film careers. On this episode of God Dreams, guest host Sierra chats with Ian about his career, passion, and purpose.
You went to be a marine biologist when you were younger? Is that correct? Or is that a
No, you know what?
No.
Actually, I was about to say, no, that's not true, but it was true.
Okay.
I did, I had a love for the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And still do.
And I
Clearly,
still do, yeah. But there's just something there that just keeps me from ever realizing that dream. Sharks. That's
I'm
it.
with you.
Plain and simple. Sharks.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Even though my brother's a former Navy salvage diver, and he's a scuba instructor, and he loves the water. You know what I'm saying? And he has vowed to get me in the scuba gear and get me in the water. And I don't know, maybe one day.
Maybe for your 56th birthday in Hawaii, you should.
Not that soon.
Not that soon. Gotcha. So, something I believe is true in life is like we have a purpose, an ultimate purpose, and but that purpose we may be called to in different areas of life. So, for example, I may be, my purpose may be to do social media, but I may be called to do it in a corporate setting one season, and just what is that? Freelance one season. What do you think your ultimate purpose is, and where is it calling you to?
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's you stumped me. I really my purpose is just to help people, I think.
Okay.
I think that is what I'm being led to do. My career has been, I likened it to Moses, leading people to the promised land. But, Moses never made it into the promised land himself. So, I'm just waiting for the promised land to come through for me. But, my calling, my journey is to help people.
Okay.
To help people get to where they want to be.
I think you've done a good job at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with your purpose, ultimate purpose being to help others, what inspired you to want to do that in life?
I don't know. It was just a goal, maybe.
Okay.
There's no real inspiration for it. To me, it was just a service thing that I felt led to do it. I wasn't inspired. I felt led. I was more led to do it, and it was exciting to me, just being
Hospitable.
just being in the business.
Okay.
And I feel that was the best way that I could fit in, from my very first stint in the music industry. My friend was a classmate of mine, was in a band called Friends Inc., and he played bass. And the first thing that he wanted me to do was move equipment, set up equipment, help the band move in and out of the space. And I agreed to do it, and I loved it. I loved doing that. I loved setting up the equipment. I loved putting everything together, the mics on stage and everything like that. And there was no real glory in it, but I had fun doing it. And I knew that the band was going to get on stage and rock, and they were going to tear up the stage because it was a stage that I set up for them. I know it's kind of weird.
No, I understand where you're coming from, though.
So I wasn't inspired. I was led to do it. And then I enjoyed it so much that I continued to do it.
as like growing up, did you have a natural ability to serve others? Like, is that something that others pointed out to you often?
You know, I got good citizenship awards in grade school. Never really knew what that meant. But yeah, you know, I would enjoy serving others. I would.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were things that we would do, like with Jehovah's Witnesses, like we'd go knock on your doors in the morning. I don't know if you had Jehovah's Witness wake you up on Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was one of those kids who did that back in the day.
Okay.
And there were other things that I could do for others, and I could feel proud about it for myself.
Okay.
So there were many opportunities for me to do that growing up. So when I could found a career that satisfied that need, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it felt good doing it. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So, going back to a little bit of adversities that you've overcome in life, what were some challenges that you faced in your music career as a producer?
Well, let me clear things up. I'm not a producer.
Okay.
I'm not a music producer. I've done management.
Gotcha.
And I've done A&R work. A&R is sort of like artist development or developing talent or discovering talent.
Okay.
The challenges has always been for me, you know, to maintain control over a group. Like my gift is to be able to see a diamond in the rough, to see that lump of coal, you know, before it becomes a pearl.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start polishing that thing, when people with more influence or more power see what it's becoming, they will swoop down and that's mine. And you know, there's nothing really that you could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You could stop the artist from working if you have contracts and stuff like that. You can hold on to them, take people to court, but that wasn't in my nature.
Mm-hmm.
The whole goal was to get these people discovered in the first place.
Right.
And just because I couldn't stay with them or maintain control over their careers doesn't mean that I would not allow them to have a career. So I let those things happen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And pretty much took it on the chin and kept doing what I was doing. I figured if I could do that for you, then I could do it for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the story of my career.
Do you have any regrets not fighting for someone in court or fighting for someone in that way?
I have one regret in this business, and that is I was working with a production company called Organized Noise, and I was called to do another job. Sylvia Rome, who was at the time president CEO of Elektra Records, offered me a job, and I took that job. I left my boys in Organized Noise to work with Sylvia, and if I had one thing to do all over again, I would reverse that. I would have stayed with my guys and came up with them. All of us come up together, you know. So
Gotcha. It's very loyal.
I
of
didn't
you.
leave them if they weren't in a bad state, by no means. But I figured that this was the right thing for me to do at the time, and you know, I think that both of our careers would have been different. Mine and Organized Noise, had I stayed with the crew and continued to grow with them.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So, in your career, were there any points where you wanted to retreat or doubted yourself that you could actually make it to where you are today?
Yeah.
And what carried you or pushed you through those points of doubt?
Oh, I doubt myself all the time.
To this day?
To this day, absolutely. And what gets me through it is I quit. I just quit everything. I just look at it and I quit. I'm not doing it anymore. And I know when that happens, everything will change. Everything, all of a sudden, the good things start to pop off. And things start to pull me back. But yeah, I've quit this industry a couple of thousand times. You know, I figured no more, that's it, I'm done. Or, you know, you're like, am I doing the right thing? is this really going to make a difference in this artist's life? And you start questioning things. You know, you're never 100% absolutely sure. You want to act that way. Like, you have to project that, especially to the artists that you're working with. You're never really 100% that anything is going to happen. Because if you would have told me that I would have created the best-selling female group of all times in TLC, I would have looked at you and be like, yeah, you're out of your mind. If you would have told me that a group that I raised and managed and maintained for their first album would win Album of the Year, the top honor at the Grammys, with me sitting in the audience, I'd be like, no, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You never expect these things to happen, but when they do, it's a cause to celebrate. So,
how do you celebrate yourself?
I go to the aquarium.
Okay.
Where I'm at peace with the fishes. You know, I have my yearly membership, so you know I can go whenever I want.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And touching that marine biologist.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Something like that. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So, but yeah, that's it. It's part of life. You know what I'm saying? Failure is part of life, and it's not really failure to me. It's learning situations. So each step, you fall down and you get back up, and you watch that step the next time, and you keep going. You know, I'm a habitual, still fall down person. You know what I'm saying? But I get back up.
Yeah.
I have to. This is my life. So.
Gotcha. What kind of advice would you tell some upcoming musicians how to make it in this industry? Or if you would give them.
Well, first of all, I would definitely tell them to educate themselves about the business. It's like if you're going to be a doctor, you go to medical school, you go be a lawyer, you go to law school. You have to educate yourself about the principles and the ins and outs of this industry. And there are books that you can get, there are courses that you can take that show the ins and outs of this particular industry, the people that you need to surround yourself with, the difference between a mechanical royalty and a performance royalty. You want to learn all of that. And for the newer age artist, you know, social media is definitely key. And you're learning this from a guy that's, for all intents and purposes, is too old to be on social media. But that's how I market myself to the general public. And so I have to stay hip to the things that are going on within social media and use those tools to my benefit. And if I'm doing this at age 56, then someone who's 25 should be masters of that, because, you know, now more than ever you can go directly to your audience. You know what I'm saying? Your fans, the people that buy, stream, listen to your music, and you can show them who you are as an artist, and you can feed that frenzy. That's what they want to know. So social media is the key, with YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Thriller, all of that.
Gotcha.
You know, it's all means of marketing and promoting yourself. And you have to have the ability to think outside the box to make it work.
So back to the education part. As far as books and courses, do you have any that you would recommend?
There are two books that I would recommend. All You Need to Know About the Music Industry by Donald Passman, which is probably in its umpteenth edition by now, because I started with that book when I was in the 80s.
Okay.
And then there's Music, Money, and Success by Brayback and Brayback.
Okay.
Which goes deeper into the financial aspects of making money in the music industry.
Okay.
Those are two primary books that I would recommend that everyone get and read, study.
That's good to know. And do you mind sharing your social media with us so we can keep up with you?
Oh yeah, sure. It's official _ Ian Burke. IANBURKE.
Awesome. Thank you.
Facebook, and all of it's going to be Ian F. Burke real soon, but I'll line. So it'll be Ian F. Burke real soon.
Okay. Good to know. Well, thank you again. I've enjoyed this conversation with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.